Look, I'm not in a position to talk to you, sorry.
It's my building. That's our work. Or, they're coming soon. Are you from here? Are you from the...
February the 22nd, 2011, a 6.3 earthquake rocked the city of Christchurch and caused extensive damage. The Te Arawa Rohe very shortly afterwards rallied together and put together a highly coordinated team to help. About 15 primary healthcare nurses joined the team and arrived at Rehua Marae on the 25th in Christchurch.
For me, I heard about it on the radio first, the earthquake. I didn't really think too much of it, just thought, oh yeah, another earthquake. And then it wasn't until I got home and saw it on TV. Instantly I thought, oh man, I want to go down there and help. And help for me, I thought I'll go down there, start lifting rubble and things like that.
Firstly, I'd approached my boss requesting release from work for up to a week. I wasn't too sure what I was going to go and do or what networks to link up with. And I suppose in hindsight it was a bit of a gung-ho move on my part. However, it was intentions were good. And my boss, she had no hesitation in saying, yeah, go for it. And she also mentioned that she'd received an email requesting health support or some nurses to head down and be part of a contingent from Te Arawa.
I came to be involved with the Hikoi to Christchurch with the Te Arawa Iwi response team through a friend that asked me if I'd like to volunteer, and straight away I said yes, because I have family in Christchurch. The Sunday before the earthquake, my daughter Jessica Oluave called me to tell me that I will be becoming a grandfather. So the heart was already there. The opportunity for me to go was easy to make the decision. Yeah.
I got whānau down there who on the second earthquake lost their home, and I'm really close to those ones, so I was feeling it for them, and yeah, within 6 hours I was ready to go.
We had a briefing the Friday night before we flew out. I'm one of these people that'll sit there and nod my head and listen to everything that's going on, and goes in one ear out the other. So all I was thinking about was make sure you got your blanket and away you go.
Just said pack lightly, expect to live rough, and flying out the next morning.
It wasn't until the Friday night around 9:30 we were informed that there were no medical supplies available to us down there. So the 6 of us nurses shot back to our mahi, Korowai Aroha, and cleaned out our clinic of supplies and packed them that night. Somehow got home to spend a couple of hours with our babies while they were sleeping, and packed our own gears, ready to fly the next morning. Yeah.
Tell us about what you saw when you first arrived there.
Well, because I've lived in Christchurch before, it was quite an eerie feeling. Flying over Christchurch, seeing the damage and the carnage that had happened to the city and the outskirts of town, was quite mind-blowing.
But my experience and what I saw at Christchurch was like, whoa, the devastation there. You see the images on TV, but you know, when you're in there, you're seeing it, you're breathing it, you're meeting the people. It hits you. Yeah, it hits you in a good spot though.
So we sort of went down there with a open mind on what we were going to be doing, because we got there and just seeing the devastation firsthand, you know, right from the start, everyone's, whoa, check that out, you know, looking at all of these buildings falling down, chimneys falling over everywhere, the liquefaction, that was huge, that was everywhere. So, yeah, I think our mindset's changed the moment we got there.
Once we started our journey into town, the carnage, the broken buildings, you know, the broken people, you could feel it. You could feel it. Yes.
Some of the houses down there had just been ruined purely by the liquefaction. windows smashed, houses crumpled to pieces, a lot of businesses fallen over. I think the thing that I found funny was a lot of garages were still standing. So a lot of people had moved out into their garages. Whole families living in there.
Oh, dust. The dust. We were taken through the CBD, and for me that was like travelling through an urupa. When we hit the cordons as we were going in, because we were a pretty rowdy bunch, and as soon as we hit the cordons it just went quiet. Karakia, we're entering the CBD, and it was just, your eyes are like, well, buildings. You're just hoping you didn't look too well and see legs or limbs or things. Yeah, so it was really eerie.
One of the houses at Rapaki, the boulder had come with their maunga, rolled down the hill, straight through the house, and ended up on the road. Quite fortunate those people from that house were away at the time at work, so nobody got injured. But being there's plenty more boulders just right on their tether, ready to come off the hill. And unfortunately, it's like a cauldron. Everything rolls down into to where the marae is, right down the bottom of their basin.
We were there for a full 7 days. Our morning usually started with 6 o'clock showers, 7 o'clock breakfasts. We were usually on the road by 8 o'clock. Dinner was usually 6 o'clock in the evening. Didn't really matter whether we were back at that time. I think the earliest we got back was 4 o'clock in the evening on our last day, but the latest we were getting back were 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening. Yeah,
we'd gone into the homes to assess if there were any health issues or injuries, and a lot of the ones that we saw were long-term conditions, diabetes, heart, the respiratory, and that was worsened by the dust, the environment, and there was a lot of gastro, diarrhea.
The first night that we got there, we just sort of went for a look around. We got a briefing on what we're going to be doing or what to expect, and so the guys that went down, we just went for a little walk around our neighbourhood to have just to check it out. We come across an elderly man shoveling out his liquefaction off his driveway. He had probably been there all day, and he probably still had 2 days work left to go. So he said, "Oh, well, is this us, boys?" And so we asked him if he had any more shovels, and he had 2 shovels on him, so we took over for him and cleared his driveway. And he was so appreciative. He was trying to offer us his water, his food, and we're going, no, we got heaps, mate, So yeah, it's just things like that are really humbling.
We'd go door knocking through Aranui, the hardest hit area of Christchurch. The place was hopeless before we got there, and the earthquake just made it 10 times worse. Yeah, but I think we lifted a lot of spirits when we did go door knocking, because they told us straight away that we were the first people to come and see them. Yes, and their general questions were, how were your food? How was your water? Have you got power? Have you got have you got gas so you can cook your kai?
We basically asked them they were there to do any health checks, if they need any food, water or medical assistance. At first they're a bit apprehensive, and later on they sort of start to open up. Once you start asking them questions, they really start to open up, and you really see their true needs. And for some of them it's just an ear to talk to. Yeah.
Well, our nurses would take care of their medical needs, but as they were doing their work, other family members would step forward just to have a conversation with you, and just let you know how they're going. Yeah, because your final question would be to them was, how are you? And that's when they would open up. Oh, I'm okay, and shaking their head and stuff, and then and then it would come, oh, My auntie has got diabetes, my koro's got high blood pressure, and and they would open up to us then. Yeah.
Yeah, they would work till pretty much fell. We were called back for dinner at 6. I don't know. We made dinners, but more often than not late. And sleeping. I went to sleep at about midnight maybe, because we had to get back, restock our medical supplies, document anyone we saw that day, and do our debrief. So it was long days, long nights, and it wasn't until the nights that we felt the aftershocks, because when you're working you're not necessarily feeling that, but boy, those aftershocks wake you up.
Yeah, just offering assistance wherever we could. For instance, some places had no power. One guy we come across had his generator, he didn't know how to get it going, so we got that going for him, just so he could watch the TV. That's all he really wanted to do. So no, that was good to help out, and all those little things. But our nurses were fantastic. I think we saw 2,400 people while we were down there. Everything was documented. So it was a awesome effort by our nurses. They were putting in their best wherever they could.
Tell us about what you took away from the experience.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us it's the material things. Coming across all these people, they've lost their houses, they've lost a lot of their possessions, but they still got their lives. So, and for a lot of families, the parents were really worried about their children, not so much about themselves, which is common. And just seeing how communities come together when these disasters happen. Some of the community spirits were awesome. Personally, they were down in a low, but as a community they all rallied together and helped each other out. We saw some amazing things down there.
Opened my eyes, it's opened my heart. I know what's important in life now. It's not all the material things of the world, mate. You can have this, that, the other, you can have the bling, you can have the ching. But family is where it's at, Family is where it's at.
But just knowing that you made a difference, and we saw just under 2,500 people, and we were the first point of contact for the majority of those. And you go in there and you see them down, shoulders slumped, stooped over, and when you leave, they're like, "Bye, Joe," or "Bye, rah rah rah." Well, that wasn't cool, but you get in there, you just seeing their spirits lift. The resilience and spirit of those communities are amazing. And if you can take on board some of that, just make you a better person.
For me, it's not so much the earthquake, it's the camaraderie that we had amongst our fellow workers. It's more than friends now, it's whānau.
The Arawa Lakes Trust are still in need of skilled people who can help with the response to the Christchurch earthquake and the infrastructure issues that are there. They are looking for builders, carpenters, and also those that have experience cooking for a large crowd. If you can help or are able to volunteer, then you can contact them on 07 348 3670.